of being punctual. So, here we are, and I do want to thank you guys again. It's so exciting to get ready for these and look forward to seeing everybody. I echoed Dana's invitation last night, and what I was saying was that I believe in my heart that we're doing something that the rest of the nation should be jealous of. I know we don't have huge numbers, but what we have in terms of passion and dedication to the sport is something that people should be jealous of. And here we are. And I don't know, Dana, is this our maybe fifth webinar that we
This is our sixth for wrestling.
sixth?
Mhm.
And I just, I'm so proud of what we're doing in terms of both the personal relationships that we have in a small population, large and land area state, and in terms of our professionalism. So that's thank you from my heart. I appreciate you guys. Our topic tonight is a little bit dry. It's about our obligations in terms of professional memberships and belongingness. So I wanted to start it out with just a teaser. This is Darian Caldwell, Brent Metcalf in 2009. Center in St. Louis. Okay, so thanks for watching that. Part of that was because that's just one of my favorite college matches of all time. And the other part of it was because McCormick did such a magnificent job refereeing that. He stayed out of the way and let him wrestle. He was firm with his verbal commands. He was involved in the match, but not dominating the match. And absolutely brilliant. You know, and McCormick's great, but for me, this might be his best work ever. So I just enjoy watching that thing so much. Our topic tonight is for you guys as leaders. By the way, hello Mondo, thanks for being here. Um, our topic tonight is for you guys as leaders in the sport to be able to coach your younger returning and your newer high school referees into what exactly is on our plate right now. And so our topic is belonging to the various groups that we do. You see the agenda there, but step one, our membership is actually open at the time. We want to encourage our younger and new officials to go ahead and make the commitment early so that they're benefiting from all the information that's available from membership. So step one is that we need to be members of NMAA/NMOA. And Dana, I'm going to have a question for you here in just a second. I made the choice here to go to the wrestling page just so that we could make fun of John a little bit, and I know everybody enjoys that. Is Mika, are you still there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here, Rusty.
Okay. But yeah, so we get into the NMAA website, which is nmact.org. And then we can go a couple of different ways. We can go through officials, or we can go to wrestling directly and then access the officials membership site. And once we're in, then we want to go not to this, but to that 1, 2, 3 to the right in the black menu bar registration page. And just having viewed this recently, Dana, you don't have to answer this right this second, but I'm really curious as to what wrestling state duels registers us for, because I am a proud member of that and I'm not sure exactly what it is. So somewhere along the way, we'll get to that. Once we get to registration, what we're looking for is varsity / and or sub-varsity wrestling competition. The membership fee on that's $62.50, and I know that with the pandemic and all the things that are going on, I know that our registration will flex quite a bit with us. What I'm here to advocate is for us as leaders in New Mexico and surrounding area to encourage our returning members to register early and to encourage our new members to register early. I'm just such a firm believer in what the benefits of group membership provide. And so early is always better. Do we know exactly what's in our future in terms of February, March, April? We do not. But do we know that being prepared is an advantage for us? I believe we do.
And if I may, Rusty, with regard to the registration, we are encouraging officials to be registered by that revised deadline. And the reason for that is because our office has taken such a hit financially, like everybody else has. We're trying to minimize the number of rule books we have to mail out. So we'll be sending, group packets to the group leaders, and they can disseminate those out. It's much cheaper to send one box to the group leader than to have to send a bunch of individual packets because the officials are registering late. So as the registration deadline approaches, we'll remind officials of that. And we also want to remind them of the importance of registering early so that they are available to be assigned competitions. So a lot of times people wait and wait and wait, and then the season started and they're mad because they haven't gotten assignments, but it's because they haven't taken care of their business. So we're really trying to encourage people to get their stuff in early, if not on time.
Thank you. That's perfect. And as I said, if you look at the roster of who's with us tonight, these are the leaders in the sport. And so these are the grassroots people that are going to get to those local memberships and help spread that message. And I appreciate that. One of the things that happens automatically with our NMAA/NMOA membership is that we become members of Arbiter Sports. And this is something, again, that we want to encourage our returning members and our new members alike to access early. Just being honest, Arbiter's a little bit tough to navigate. And so we want to get people in there poking around, looking around, and finding out all the tools that the Arbiter provides for us as part of our membership with NMOA. So just glancing at this, it's arbitersports.com, and then it'll direct you through to your sign in and all the various memberships that people have. The other thing that's automatic about being a member of NMAA/NMOA is that it makes us a member of the National Federation of High School Sports, and the advantages of this are myriad. The information that's available on NFHS is really comprehensive. They have their COVID-19 training that's out there now. If you haven't done that, I would urge you to do so and make that like parallel to your concussion training protocols. And I think we want to make our new and returning members well aware of the benefits that are available through our membership. It's not simply just paying dues so you can get assignments. There's so much good education that's out there. I am thrilled with what NFHS has been doing recently for the nation and for our sport. So we automatically become members of two things, the Arbiter and the National Federation. Next, we are all members of a local group. And I mentioned to Jet before the call formally started, I'm not exactly sure who's whom in these regions. I think there's a good chance maybe, Mondo, you can fill us in on this. If there's another contact for the Las Cruces local group besides you or Willie, I'd like to hear that and be sure that I fill it in my records. Mondo, is there somebody else besides you two that we should contact for membership in that group?
I think I would put Mika would be the third person out of that group, because he tends to cover the east side of the southern part of the state, right? So I would go with Mika there.
Thank you so much, and I will make sure that's included. I can't amend that slide right now, but I will make sure that's included. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it.
According to what Jet said earlier, Jason is still technically the group leader in the Northwest region, but I know that other member leaders among that region include Paul and Jet. So there's a variety of people there. And I guess what I'm asking is for you guys to help Jason. Speaking of which, I got a text message from Jason just a few minutes ago. He's at work, sends his regards, and probably will not make the meeting. But we've got strong leaders in Paul and Jet there that can help out with that. Adam is kind of out on an island. I did put that sub-region in there. There's a local group in Santa Fe that serves in the same region, that northeastern region that Adam serves. And I can't tell you for sure that they have a designated president or leader, but that Santa Fe region is sub to the Northeast region. In the central area there, I referred to John King first because John is such a strong leader. I know that his business life is going to tax him more than it has in past years. John is now in charge of every golf course west of the Mississippi in terms of engineering their agriculture and the chemical part of their maintenance. And that's a great thing for him professionally in terms of making money. It is going to put upon him in terms of the time that he's able to dedicate to us. Currently, Jerry Moya is the elected leader in that central region. And I know that there are some question marks there, and I really can't answer those question marks, but Jerry is still a go-to guy in terms of being able to facilitate new members or help renewing members solve those problems. If it really gets down to it, you could call me and find out how much I don't know, and I'll be happy to help you from there. Beyond the memberships that are required for us as New Mexico region high school referees, there are some other opportunities out there. I know that several of our people in all of our regions enjoy being able to facilitate New Mexico junior wrestling in the folk style arena. I think it's a little extra income for a lot of people, and it's a lot of additional experience for our up and coming young officials. So I made a note there to include them. You can see in there, basically, how you would go about looking them up on a Google search. And if you need personal contacts, I'm happy to help with that. The other group that New Mexico Junior Wrestling is affiliated with is New Mexico Wrestling in general, New Mexico Wrestling New Mexico Wrestling USA.com. And so this is another organization that offers additional opportunities, maybe inside the state with little kids wrestling, and maybe outside the state with regional and national events. Okay, as far as working with the youth wrestlers, and I know I'm zooming along here. If anybody's got a question, speak up, I'll stop. But along with those people that choose to supplement their experience and income with service to the youth arena, one of the requirements there is that you have to be a wrestling leader member of USA Wrestling. This provides secondary insurance. It provides additional liability that augments what NMOA/NMAA and the Federation provide. It does allow us to work outside of high school wrestling without risking what's inside of high school wrestling. I chose this headline, and I'm going to take just a quick time out here. You see this is basically an obituary. Matlock, who they call Mad Dog, was my teacher. And he passed September 1st, and they had his funeral last Friday. And this is sort of a testimony for what it is that wrestling adds to our lives. Dana, I got a chance, because you're always collecting wrestling stories, family stories. These are all your children. I got a chance to tune in to a quick video chat with a bunch of guys. And you can imagine with the COVID restrictions, the funeral didn't have a lot of people there per se, but there were a ton of people that assembled to tell stories about this magnificent teacher after the formal ceremonies were over. And looking at some of the great referees, one of them from New Mexico, Sean Aiken, grew up in Placitas, graduated from Del Norte High School, one of the best young referees in the country before he joined the military. and he was there for that funeral. And I just, I got to pay respect to Mad Dog. He was my teacher, and he opened up so many doors for me and exposed me to so many other great teachers. And so I'm appreciating him tonight. A sub-site to the USA Wrestling site is United States Wrestling Officials Association. Whether or not you're a member of that association, these guys do some great education. They have a question of the day, and they have a you make the call. And yeah, it's Olympic style wrestling. It's not scholastic style. But man, it puts you in some great situations to educate yourself and practice the skills that we have about basic wrestling fundamentals. We have a few people among us that may be interested in refereeing college wrestling. We still have a program at New Mexico Highlands in Las Vegas, and they're dying to get New Mexico referees at the college level. There has not been anybody from New Mexico work a New Mexico Highlands match since 2015. And this is not a demand, but always an invitation. There's room for growth if you choose to step that direction. I'd be happy to put people in contact with Coach Moses and supplement that program as we go. Here's somebody. Is there a question? Okay, here's a supplementary site. It's the Intercollegiate Wrestling Officials Association, which facilitates trainings and registration for the NCAA. And I thought I should include this as a point of reference. If we do run across one of our members in the New Mexico area that wants to move on into college refereeing, the membership in this organization would certainly be an appropriate next step. You can see by the slide that I've chosen here that they make available all of the clinics. They access the exam for you, and they do have both virtual and on-site meetings. Women's College Wrestling is a subsidiary organization. Obviously, women's wrestling is the fastest growing sport in the United States at the time, both in high school and in college. And their national championship this year, I believe, is in Jamestown, South Dakota. And lots of opportunities in our region, especially our members, Mondo, Mika, you guys that serve the Texas borders, both on the south and the east side. There's some great opportunities at Wayland Baptist University in Plainview, and now there's another program in Central Texas that will offer opportunities there. So that's the Women's Collegiate Wrestling Association. Moving on up, those people that may choose to advance into national and international work in the Olympic styles. Just quickly here, United World Wrestling, it will be unitedworldwrestling.org. And that's the organization that administers and facilitates international work. One of the big benefits here is that the education is phenomenal. And you're seeing, if you can follow my cursor, the webinars that are available in training officials up here are absolutely fabulous. I was on one this morning. And for those of you that live in the southern region or the Four Corners, they do offer webinars in French and Russian, as well as Spanish. So, that'll help you guys. Enough said. I included this slide. It was not quite as up to date as it is now in our last webinar. I am still chasing an absolute in the Arizona State Association, and Dana may be able to help me out with that. Since we last met, Texas has locked in, and Mondo, you're free to jump in here. Texas has locked in their state championship, I believe, in the third weekend of April. Mondo, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's the third weekend. I forget when we start down here, but around the third weekend is when so far it's slated. We haven't heard anything that says otherwise, so we're going with it. And as of course we always say, all this is as of today, right? As of right now. So we'll go.
I
Keep
think,
you.
yeah,
ahead.
your point is extremely well taken, because everything changes daily in this current situation. The reason one reason, Mondo, that I chose to include this is that as it overlaps, you as a leader in that area, hola, Dragmeister.
Hi, Mr. Rusty. Sorry to bother everybody. Just wanted to
No,
thank you
I was
for
just
wrestling with-
admiring your hair. I don't know. I got a pretty good chongo going.
Nice ponytail, dude. Nice. Have a good meeting, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, Mondo, what I was saying is that as one of the supreme leaders in that region, you can address with your guys down there how the overlap between Texas' schedule and New Mexico's schedule is going to impact some of the work schedules. And certainly that's going to be a concern. Any comments, Mondo?
No, as always, we just have to, with enough time and talent, we can schedule accordingly. It just has to be done in that manner, right? This last minute shoot from the hip, it just doesn't work, right? So with time and talent takes care of that, assuming everybody's anxious on these ones. I mean, there was some, everybody's anxious to get back on the mat. It's just a matter of where we'll be at that time when we start doing that. Hard to tell.
And just a note there, Mondo, I if you really get into a tight spot, you could probably get away with using Mika Trujillo. I've heard he's pretty good.
Well, that's one vote for him. Yes, I'll just leave it at that. I don't know that there's 11 of us on the call. We might get another one, and it'll have to come from Mika, I suspect.
Oh, tough crowd.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Of course not.
Rusty, I can't find anything on the Arizona website about their start date for wrestling or their state championship date. I'll check around with Scott and see if he may know, and I'll get back to you.
Thank you. I chased it the same direction you did earlier today, and it just seems to be a great mystery. So we'll figure it out. Jet, here's a similar question, because I believe you have the potential to be able to work in Durango and Ignacio and Bayfield and that corner area of Colorado. So if you don't mind, maybe you could check with Chris Carney and go, include Jason in the conversation. If there's the opportunity for New Mexico licensed referees to be able to work any of those Colorado invitationals, that would be something exciting for all of you guys.
Yeah, I know there definitely is a need for it. I'm the only one that's jumped over this far, but Chris is looking for other officials in that area.
Good. Jump on what opportunities you get, because you already know there's pretty good wrestling within a 45-minute drive of you, and every minute on the mat just makes you better at what you do.
Hey, Rusty, I just
Hey.
looked on the AIA's track wrestling account, and they are showing right now that their state championships will be the 17th through the 20th of February. So you had that correct. And then the girls' state championships would be the 19th and 20th of February. So as of what they have loaded into track wrestling, that's what they've got.
Thank you so much for verifying that.
You bet.
What I found today was tournaments that are scheduled all over Arizona beginning as early as November 28th. So I was shaky enough about that to put the question marks on the slide, but I appreciate you verifying that for us.
No problem. And that's, in looking at their track wrestling, I see something like November 20th or something was their first event. So I think you are on target.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Our topic tonight, before we go to questions, was belonging to groups. I am a huge believer in the belonging to groups because, you know, and Mondo can verify this, by myself, I'm not very good. In a group, I'll steal your best stuff and fake it. And I really, really like what we're doing in the New Mexico and surrounding areas region, both in terms of our willingness to associate with others that have the same interests, and in the camaraderie that we share just joking around with each other, and in the professionalism that provides for us. So that's another thank you for you guys. Dana, you're going to have some input on this. Do we dare keep meeting once a month, or do we need to take a prolonged break? That's open to anybody for discussion.
In my opinion, I think continuing to have one a month isn't too much. Like, I know in some of our sports, we were having like 2 a week, and that was way too much. But I think one a month until the season starts is actually a good way of just staying connected and not getting, getting too far away from it. That's just kind of my opinion, and based upon what I'm seeing in some of our other sports that we've had webinars in. Keep in mind, and this is something that, as Rusty was kind of talking about, the belonging and groups and all of that stuff. This year, all of our local group meetings, or what have been known as local group meetings, will be held virtually. So we'll be hosting them through our office with the assigners and or group leaders presenting. So there will be a couple of opportunities for the local groups to have meetings of just their officials. So that way, if they've got elections they need to take care of or any kind of local business, they'll be able to do that. But the exciting part is it kind of opens us up to some of the consistency issues that we're looking at. So we'll have a consistent message that everybody will be on the webinar, and if they missed, we'll have a recording, and then we'll give them a little assignment to make sure they actually watched it. So for this year, because of COVID, because we've started with all sports that direction, we're just going to be consistent with all of our sports and do all of our local meetings online. So just so you know, that's coming. But it looks like Gerald just typed in once a month is a good idea. So if anybody's opposed to that, if you could just kind of unmute yourself and chat, or type it in the chat box so that we kind of know if we need to continue in this fashion. I like it. I think it's a good check-in just to make sure we're all still sane. So that's just me. I just like seeing your faces. I'm not gonna lie. I miss you guys.
That's kind of how I feel. I just like being together. So Dana, do you need to check your calendar for that October 23rd?
I've got it right here. Let me pull that and see.
Does anybody else have any opinions on that?
I think the once a month is good for us to all get together and just, whether it's kicking around ideas or just learning, just getting together is a good idea. I think it's something we should continue with as well.
So
It's
Rusty,
keeping me. Go ahead.
it looks like the 23rd is fine. I've got a volleyball meeting that night at 7, but we're usually wrapped up in 45, 50 minutes anyway on wrestling, so we're good. If we can stick to the 6 o'clock start time, I'm good to go.
Mondo, you okay with that?
So there's no doubt in my mind that we should meet at least monthly, right? The communication, it kind of keeps us connected, albeit virtually. And I think it'll help us once we do finally break the virtual, scenario or whatever, then we'll already be hitting the road running, so to speak. We won't be starting from fresh. And I think that's good. And by then, we just have to determine what it is as we get closer to the season, what is more relevant, if you will, as opposed to, just getting together, right? Seeing each other's faces. Eventually, we'll have to start doing business, if you will. And we just have to, I'm interested to see and to get Dana's opinion, what she's learned, what she would have learned, let's say in December from the fall sports, right? What have you learned? What worked and what doesn't work, and what level of business doesn't work, and that kind of stuff. I know it depends on personalities as well.
Absolutely. And what we'll do, Mondo, is prior to the start of the wrestling season, we will have a planning meeting that'll be the regional assigners and the group leaders to talk about what topics need to be covered for the actual educational meetings. I mean, the meetings we've had to date have been educational, but probably not what we would do in a local group setting. So we'll have a planning meeting. That way we can get all the input. When we send that invitation out for that wrestling planning meeting, we will ask the group leaders and assigners to kind of get with their people and see what topics need to be reviewed. So like in volleyball, we're taking things that have been commonly misapplied, or things that we get a lot of complaints from coaches with regard to inconsistencies across the state. So we'll kind of get a feel for that. I may reach out to Scott Owen and see if there's anything on his plate that coaches have said, you know, the officials are doing this differently no matter where we go. So we'll get together and have that conversation. We'll set that meeting agenda together for the weekly association meetings as we get closer to wrestling.
Okay, and I guess my last comment would be the state clinic, right? The stuff that we talk about at a state clinic, where we talk about rule changes, we talk about points of emphasis, we we interact with Scott, we get guidance from Scott as how interpretations from the New Mexico, how is the NMOA going to interpret these, you know, that kind of stuff is so fruitful. And I don't know what the plans are, and I don't need to know today, but if that isn't going to happen, or if it's going to happen somewhat limited, we need to be prepared for that as well, because that's always good info to bring back and to argue amongst ourselves, right? What happens is we're in a public forum, and then we go to the private forum, and then we just argue amongst ourselves as to what the right way to call, right? So I'm not concerned. It's just an item. It's a watch item more than anything, probably.
So we do have, actually, we have that scheduled. I'm trying to find it right now. The fact that all of my schedules are written in pencil right now is a sign of the times. I'm like, I just want to get this locked down. We will have a state clinic again. It will obviously be online. I'm trying to find the date of that. I apologize. The way it'll happen is the sport of wrestling will have a district clinic online that'll be for coaches and officials. And okay, so the wrestling officials clinic is what we're calling it. That will be on Wednesday, April 7th, and it'll be that evening online. So we'll be doing that state clinic, but it'll be virtual this year. Scott will be involved. I will invite the coaches and see if they want to be involved in portions of it as well. And then if it looks like, so as we're doing our planning, if it looks like we need to have two nights of that, just to make sure we cover everything, we could do it like Wednesday night, Thursday night. So we have options that week to be able to accommodate it, but I don't want to lose that state clinic. First of all, you need it for your certification, but secondly, I just think it's important for you guys to have that opportunity to get together and, like you said, argue with one another and get interpretations from Scott. So that's what I know right now.
That sounds good. And I'm sure you had covered it before. I'm sure you sent out the information. It's probably buried somewhere in this data, but that would be a watch item for us. I think I'm speaking for the group. I think we all would like that, right? Or at least continue with that is my opinion.
And I think, you know, one thing to remember, because I'm getting a lot of questions as we're getting volleyball on the tracks right now. You know, people are concerned about, will I be able to meet all the, you know, my meeting requirements and my match requirements and all of that. This year, because we're on such a condensed schedule and it's such a weird year, we will be lenient. We still want people as involved as they can be. And, you know, if somebody doesn't go to any meetings online and fails their test, we're going to drop their rating. But if they're making a concerted effort to attend online and pass their test and be active in the season, we're not going to, you know, it won't harm them if they miss like one meeting because everything's strange this year. So this is kind of our year of grace. So, you know, we just want to work with everybody and make sure that we're understanding, especially given the fact that people have kids that they're trying to do online learning at home, and officials who are teachers and all of that. So we just want to be sensitive to life right now as well. Well, humanity never hurt anybody.
And those are good things, Dana. Those are good comments. Those are good. That tells me that the NMA, NMOA is I don't want to say has our back, but we're in it together, right? And it takes all sides to make this happen and be successful, right? So that's a good thing to know. Thanks, Dana, for the update.
Of course. Yeah, just let me know if there's anything else. I'm trying to keep everybody as updated as possible, but as was mentioned earlier, everything seems to change with the winds. So sometimes I won't send every update. I'll just wait until there's one that seems somewhat final, because I'm going nuts. I'm like, wait, I thought we said yesterday, and it's like, no, that was yesterday. So turn the page. But we're working on that. And Gerald, yes, they're pretty close together. I can look that up. Rusty, sorry, I didn't mean to commandeer the meeting.
No, you're doing great. What I wanted to do was just to open it up to gain any potential feedback regionally. So this is for Gerald and David. Are you guys okay with and can you coordinate with Adam, who I'm sure is working tonight, but can you coordinate with your guys as far as getting back together in October, David and Gerald?
Yeah, that's not a problem, Rusty. We'll do that. I also want to add that Daniel Martinez is back in Las Vegas. So we'll add him, and Isaac Garcia. Unfortunately this year Highlands will finish their schedule before our season starts. So hopefully we can get some of those Highlands wrestlers also to learn how to become refs. And also Rico Montoya is back in Albuquerque, if you knew that, Rusty. So he would be another good catch to get into the officiating field.
Yes, he would. Is he in private practice, or what's he doing?
No, he's going to be working at Volcano Vista as a teacher, instructor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a good get for everybody. Dana,
Yes.
I'm not sure if you know this kid, but this is, if you Google real deal human, this kid's picture comes up.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Central Region, Elaine, Scott, are you guys comfortable with what we're doing?
Oh, Rusty, it looks like Adam's on.
Okay. Hi, Adam.
I am. I'm here. Hi. How are you? How are you guys?
It's so much more fun talking about you than it is talking to you.
Yeah, that's okay. You can keep talking about me.
I was looking out for you, Adam. I got your back.
Thank you, Dana.
You bet.
Yeah, that makes one of us.
I knew that. You knew that.
Hey, I'll take what I can get.
We all can.
Adam, did you hear my comment? This is David. About Daniel being back in town and Rico being in the state.
Yeah. That's really good to hear Rico's back, and Daniel will take a little bit of working to see if he'll come back to the officiating ring, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and the other good candidate, of course, is Isaac Garcia, who did a great job last year.
Oh yeah, he'll be really. He's a really good asset to our area, and it'll be really nice if he's not busy with Highlands wrestling. So that'll be.
They should be over by then. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to see him a little bit. I mean, number one, just a great human being, and number two, a successful athlete. So smart, so intelligent. He's going to be a real asset to what we're doing. So I appreciate you guys doing what you are with him. Four Corners guys, Jet. I think you're speaking for the Four Corners tonight. Are you guys okay with getting together when we can?
Yeah, I'm 100% on board, and I'll relay the message.
Okay, so you'll say something good to Paul and say something bad to Jason?
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much. For the good of the order, Mika, you're out there in almost nowhere. Nobody really cares if you're okay with this, but we should pretend.
Wow, man, Rusty is just feisty. I guess he's
fire.
all enough.
You okay,
Getting a little
Mika?
salty. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Righty then. You guys make me so happy I've never been more thrilled to be a part of anything than watching you guys do what you do. Dana, that's a thank you for letting me participate in this stuff, and you know, the rest of you, just I hope your families are good, and you are very much appreciated. We're open for questions. Dana, if you have housekeeping information for us, we're ready to rock. And if,
I think I'm good. I think I've already said everything that I can think of for now. Just be on the lookout as the season gets a little bit closer. You'll hear from me a little more frequently. I know you're probably already hearing from me more than you'd like, but I'll keep everybody as up to date as I can with regard to what's going on and state clinic and all of that good stuff. But I think it's a great idea to continue to meet, you know, monthly, so that way we can keep you apprised of anything that does pop up, and just have that time for the camaraderie and all of that. So I appreciate it. I'm gaining a lot from this. It's always it's good for my mental health to be able to see all of you and know how you're doing and know that you're okay. So just be on the lookout for emails and make sure that you actually read them, because Nate doesn't. He'll admit to that. He's my assistant and he doesn't read them, but that's okay. And I can say that because he says it. But yeah, I don't have anything else, but thank you all for spending a Monday night with us, and we'll see you again on October 23rd.
love you guys.
Thanks, Dana. See you guys later. Thanks, Rusty.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you guys. See you guys. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you all.
Stay healthy.
Good one.
Peace out.
See you, Mando.
See you later. See you,
Stay out
David.
of trouble, guys. Stay out of trouble, Mondo, especially.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
I know. I thought I'd try though. And Willie, I could throw him into that category with you. I already
I
know.
didn't want to get in trouble with Rusty, but can we do 45 minutes of this and then 15 minutes of socializing? Like, can we have a beer with each other on online or?
Absolutely. Once I stop the recording, I mean, no holds barred. Man.
Okay. I just want to make sure